The Columbus Municipal School District and the City of Columbus plan on keeping fans safe at the next two CHS football home games after an incident took place in this parking lot. I'm Jory Talley and I'll have that story.
Across northeastern Mississippi, vending machine thefts are becoming a recurring thing. But could social media help efforts to stop the criminals? I'm Parker King and I'll have that story.
WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Columbus High fans will be seeing more police at the next two Falcon home games.
That's right. That increased security comes after shots were fired at the end of the football game this past Friday night. The incident reportedly started in the parking lot with an argument, and then two shots were fired into the ground. Our Jory Talley talks with city and school district leaders today about how they plan to make things safer at future games. She joins us live.
There were several Columbus police officers and school resource officers patrolling this parking lot when shots were fired. Some of the officers were able to see the situation unfolding. They reacted and got it under control within minutes. Eventually, a man from West Point was arrested and involved in the situation. Quieter than it was Friday night, as Columbus High battled it out to an overtime win against DeSoto Central. The gunshots fired in the parking lot capped off an unforgettable CHS homecoming and also sparked a call for increased security at home football games.
School district pays for X amount of officers, and then the city furnish X amount of officers. So those same officers will be there, plus 5 additional officers will be there. From 30 minutes prior to game time until the premises are cleared at the conclusion of the ball game.
Those extra officers will help patrol the last two home games. Mayor Robert Smith says he doesn't want the unfortunate situation to scare fans away from Falcon Field.
We don't want this one incident to deter the citizens from coming and supporting their kids and coming and supporting the school and the football program. It's an unfortunate incident, but we can assure you that our number one priority is safety.
Superintendent Dr. Philip Pickman says when things like this happen, the plan is to be proactive and reactive.
You can't plan for everything. We try to plan for every situation that we can think of, and we have protocols in place when things happen. But no one wants to predict or plan that anyone will come to an event for kids and will either cause problems or have a weapon.
The school district's chief resource officer says officers followed protocol Friday night and were able to contain the situation within minutes. Chief Doran Johnson also says the goal is to maintain safety for everyone, which is why officers are analyzing what they did that night to see if there's anything they can improve upon.
See if there's something that we might can do different, and as far as I'm concerned, we've done basically what we were supposed to do, what our protocol calls us, and we might increase some things as far as just making sure we're keeping a more closer, tighter check on our parking lot.
The investigation is being done by the Columbus Police Department. No one involved in this incident were students from the area. Devontae Harris of West Point has been charged with possession of a firearm on school property. Reporting live in Columbus, Jory Talley, WCBI News.
All right, thanks, Jory, for that report tonight in Columbus. Meanwhile, a Starkville man is arrested after a fight that seriously injured another person. 44-year-old Stanley Brownlee is charged with aggravated assault. Starkville police were called to Vowell's Marketplace about 9:30 Sunday morning about a fight involving weapons. The unidentified victim remains in serious condition. A SPD spokesperson says the injured person has blunt force trauma but declined to release what type of weapon was allegedly used. Brownlee's bond was set at $50,000.
The family of a little girl killed while getting off the school bus wants the case reopened after a grand jury did not indict the driver of the car. 7-year-old Amaya Braxton was struck while getting off of the stopped school bus in front of her house last October. The driver of the car says she didn't realize the bus was stopped and swerved right instead of into oncoming traffic to avoid hitting the bus. The grand jury's decision was recently made public. Now Amaya's family says there are witnesses who did not come forward initially and have information to help prosecutors. They want the district attorney to represent the case to the next grand jury.
The importance of it to me is when they first presented it, they really didn't have everything that they needed. And now, we all know that it's actually, that it is witnesses out there that saw it from start to finish. We really need for the sheriff department to find them and get their statements.
A vigil is being planned in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, the driver of the car in question has not been charged with a crime.
A man accused of cashing counterfeit checks in June could be facing more charges. In mid-June, 2 counterfeit checks were used at the East Side Quick Stop in Pontotoc. Security cameras caught a man and woman cashing 2 phony payroll checks at East Oxford Street gas station. The same man is believed to have cashed bogus checks late last Monday at the Ecru Quick Stop. The suspects could be driving a white Dodge Charger with a dark spoiler and an unknown emblem on its sides. Anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers.
Well, over the weekend, stores in multiple counties were burglarized, but we're not talking about cash registers taking a hit. The vending machines did.
Yep, and law enforcement are investigating, but merchants are taking these cases to social media. WCBI's Parker King talks with store owners and law enforcement. He joins us live in the studio with more. Parker.
Stores like Mount's Supermarket in Vardaman posted surveillance footage of the theft on Facebook, and it's gone viral. This rise in awareness could lead to police finding the thieves. This isn't the first time store owners have dealt with vending machine thefts.
It is every few months, seems like, been happening on a routine basis.
The heist itself is elaborate.
Most times they got keys to the machine, so it's not a real, they don't tear up the machines. If they got padlocks on them, they cut the locks off.
Store owners like Jeff Mounts in Vardaman have improved their security in the past and now use social media to reach out to the surrounding area. This is the first time Mounts Supermarket has taken to social media in response to these crimes, and already it's racking up over 12,000 views.
Just trying to get the word out, and it can happen several ways. Maybe the people that did it would actually see it and not do it again to anyone else, or our hope is to somehow somebody would see the people and recognize them and turn them in.
We contact so many people at one time, other departments, we're making them aware of what's going on, trying to make people be aware, look around. If they was to see a vehicle fitting this description, to call the local authorities.
A little over 2 days have passed, and already the posts from store owners and collaboration with police departments are starting to piece together a timeline.
Just never know what little bit of information each one can input to the other. And I'm fine if somebody else catches them. I just want them to be caught.
We're in contact with multiple departments that we didn't even realize had their machines had been hit until they seen what the sheriff put on social media and what we put. So it's kind of given us a pattern on which direction they went.
Again, these videos are on Facebook. If you recognize these people or the vehicle, you're asked to call local law enforcement.
All right, Parker, thanks a lot for that.
All right, time now to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. He has our first look at our forecast. Keith?
A nice little rainbow, or in some areas a double rainbow in East Columbus and New Hope this afternoon. You can see that right there from Ken. And also here from Lisa, there's a view over towards East Columbus as well, with that little shower that was coming on in from Alabama that fizzled as it got towards Columbus, but did produce the rainbow. We still have a few isolated showers out there, most spots seeing some sunshine. The biggest batch of showers now moving back to the west. So overall, this evening's looking great. We're in the 80s now. Eventually, by early to mid-evening, we're down into the 70s. The full forecast is coming up.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. Well, downtown is the heart of the city, and one town is working to upgrade theirs to make it even more attractive. Over the next 3 days, the Mississippi Main Street Association will hold a vision plan in the town of Houston. During those meetings, the Main Street Association will discuss growth and new development in the city's downtown district. Tonight and Wednesday at 6 o'clock, the public is invited to attend to tell leaders what changes they would like to see.
While one Main Street Association is making plans for the future, another is closing up shop. Macon Main Street Incorporated is set to close on Saturday. The board of directors made the announcement today, citing declining membership as the key factor. President Buzz McGuire said the city has always been a willing supporter and expressed his appreciation to their volunteers. Macon became a Main Street community in 2002. In that time, it organized numerous projects and events to revitalize the area.
Good grades are really paying off for some North Mississippi students.
When we come back, we find out how they're cashing in on their test scores.
Watching WCBI News at 6 with Andrea Self and Joey Barnes.
Welcome back. Local pastors are joining forces to help people affected by recent hurricanes. The Tupelo Houston Florida Alliance was created after Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. Monetary donations along with items like bottled water, baby formula, diapers, and toys can be dropped off at Kingdom Broadcasting on North Spring Street in Tupelo. Organizers say it's a simple way for everyone to help.
Everything else is going on in the nation and in the world. The love of peoples are always shown most of the time through disasters and through things of this nature. So there are some good peoples in the world, and we have to always remember that good always triumphs evil.
Donations will be delivered to storm victims in the next few weeks with help from 8 Days of Hope.
Houston Middle School students get big bucks for their high scores on state tests. Today, the school teamed up with PACE, or Partners in Achieving Community Excellence, to reward 6th, 7th, and 8th graders who scored proficient or above or showed growth on the 2017 state tests. The top scores each received $100. Other students who had high scores received prizes like movie tickets and pizza and ice cream parties.
They work hard all year, and the biggest thing is just recognition. They like to be recognized for their hard work, but also just to reward hard work. We tell our kids hard work always pays off, and this is just a way to show them that when you work hard, good things happen.
Speaking of working hard, even students who showed improvement from last year's scores received prizes today.
Another look at the double rainbow in the New Hope area, a vibrant main rainbow, a lighter and fainter secondary rainbow right there. Check that out. Pretty neat. So those showers that gave us those rainbows today going away this evening. Still a chance for a limited amount of rain over the next 7 days, but the big story, pretty warm weather in the near term. Full forecast is next.
Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
A few showers out there today. This one in East Columbus, a faint little rainbow right there. Not too shabby. Most spots did stay dry today, and there's that rainbow along with that secondary faint rainbow, but a little bit of a double rainbow there out towards New Hope earlier today. Stay connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also weather at WCBI.com. All right, here's the current radar situation. Just a few blips still showing. You can see that one little shower northeast of Gordo, Alabama. We've had a few additional showers back to the west. Those are lifting back to the west. Most of us enjoying a pretty nice late afternoon, soon to be early evening. Our rain chance is pretty slim. 10% the next couple of days. We're just going to throw that in there to cover ourselves here. Much like today, we've had a few spotty showers, and then we go basically dry into the weekend. So overall, not a lot of moisture for us. And if you look closely, there's that one shower northeast of Gordo, and there's a little bit of rain trying to fall from that cloud. But as the sun sets, all the clouds go away. and we'll have a clear night. 85 degrees currently, but we will be dipping down into the 70s here during the evening hours, 60s tonight. We didn't do 90 today in Columbus, but this is about the time that we see our last 90-degree temperature. The average is September 23rd. The latest, though, check that out, back in 1982 on October 31st. So we can stay warm all the way through October, even into early November. Tonight, mainly clear, maybe some patchy fog. 67 degrees out there. And for our planner tomorrow, 72 sunny at 8 o'clock, 86 by noon. Pretty warm lunch hour. 90 our forecast high in the afternoon. Upper 80s to low 90s. Can't roll out one of those stray showers. Most spots will stay dry. The lower 48 divided. 40s and 50s fall-like in the northern Rockies and the high plains. 80s still across most of the eastern U.S. We have a slow-moving cold front coming across the country, and it looks pretty promising. There's a lot of moisture along that boundary right now, but as the boundary approaches us, it's really going to fall apart. Here's the latest on Maria, Category 1 hurricane brushing the Carolina coastline. That will be going out to sea as we get into the end of this week. So some high surf now, but no serious effects from Maria, thankfully, here in the United States. But there it is going out to sea. There's the front coming on in. As it moves on in here, those rain chances will really dwindle. The moisture falls apart with that front. So here's our 7-day. You can see warm temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday near 90, 86 Thursday. We're still looking at sunshine and upper 70s and low 80s for the weekend.
Coming up, Mississippi State and Ole Miss have crucial SEC contests this Saturday on the road in the Yellowhammer State. Hear from the Bulldogs and the Rebels next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Well, to say last Saturday's loss at Georgia was humbling for Mississippi State, that's putting it mildly. MSU's Bulldogs were beaten in every facet of the game against Georgia's Bulldogs. But the best part about being in MSU's position is they have no time to fret. Another top 15 foe is next at Auburn, as State must regroup quickly after last weekend.
If anything from this game, take it as a reality check. Maybe we thought we were a little bit better than we were. Maybe we kind of a little lackadaisical at weren't really mentally locked in at some times of practice, and that's going to change. So we're going to get back to locked in, focused like we were at LSU week.
You're never as good as everybody tells you when you're good, and you're never as bad as it is when everybody tells you you're bad. You're somewhere in the middle, and you're honestly just trying to improve and get better. From week to week, you're really as good as your last play. You're going to be as good as your next play that you play. And, as a team, or as you look as a whole as a team, you're as good as your last game or going to be as good as your next game.
To Oxford, and Ole Miss has its work cut out for them this Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Alabama showed the rest of the SEC how good they are once again with that win over Vanderbilt, especially with 496 yards on the ground against the Commodores. That's jumped off the page to Matt Luke at Ole Miss, as the Rebel defense will focus in on slowing down Damian Harris and Bo Scarborough.
I think they're going to play hard. They're, Josiah and Breland, and I think they'll step in there and do a good job. They'll go in there and they'll fight their tails off. We just got to do a good job of being gap control. And I think we gotta attack those backs and before they get going. I think when those guys get going, they're hard to stop. So we're going to have to do a good job of trying to make them run lateral where they can't just attack us downhill. I think if we do that, we'll have a chance.
We'll have more with MSU Ole Miss and talk more Alabama coming up tonight at 10. Your Saturday slate starts off at 11 with Vandy at Florida. We'll have Georgia, Tennessee for you at WCBI. And if it was anything like last year's game, it's going to be chaos. Then we'll have MSU, Auburn. That'll be a 5 p.m. kickoff time. Interesting kickoff time, but it'll be on the Plains at 5 on ESPN. And then Ole Miss, Bama will be right after the Bulldogs and Tigers on ESPN. To high school football, and starting this Friday, everyone in division play. That means every game from here on out means just a little bit more. Week 7 has a tantalizing schedule with big-time matchups, but there may not be a bigger matchup or rivalry being played in the state on Friday than in Webster County. We will be at Eupora for the annual Maroon Bowl with our Carl Hogan Toyota Game of the Week for Week 7 as the Eagles host East Webster for a major rivalry and division play opener in Region 2-2A. Eupora coming off one of the biggest wins in the state last week, a 13-7 victory over 3A powerhouse Charleston, while East Webster add another strong performance with a 44-6 win at JZ George. Both the Eagles and Wolverines 5-1 headed into this Friday's matchup and are even 4 wins and 4 losses in the last 8 meetings in this rivalry. We'll have a special story on the rivalry coming up on Thursday, so look forward to that. And if you're in the mood for some college hoops, Basketball's around the corner. Mississippi State announced today Maroon Madness will be Friday, October 13th, 8:30 p.m. at Humphrey Coliseum. All the dunk contests, scrimmages, spot shot competitions between the men's and women's teams. More information expected to be coming out throughout the week leading up to that event.
Friday the 13th, eh?
Friday the 13th, yeah. The women's season is going to be pretty scary this year with everything they have coming back. So, see what I did there?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
So, but yeah, basketball almost here. Good pick.
All right.
All right, thanks, Robbie. We'll be right back.
Look at this great sunset here developing in
beautiful.
Columbus, looking back to the west. Gorgeous weather here this evening, still warm. Enjoy your evening. And for the next couple of days, still toasty, around 90, early fall heat. A little bit cooler by the weekend where we should be, upper 70s to low 80s. Still lots of sunshine, great football weather this weekend locally, and maybe a slight chance for a shower.
Humidity levels, what are we looking at?
Those levels will be dropping here once we get past Wednesday.
It determines whether I go to the homecoming football game in Starkville on Friday night.
Should be a little bit lower than today.
There you go. All right. Thanks for joining us.